Sweetie, I was just thinking of you. You never knew your gran-gran, but she's about the only one like you in my whole family tree. Left home at an early age. Well, ran away, really. Became a UC Marine, if you can believe it. You would know better than I. I only met Grandma a few times. Oh, she was fierce. I swear, her eyes almost glowed. Every time I saw her, she'd drill me on math. If I got her questions correct, she'd give me a treat. Once, I got them all right and answered her bonus question, and she smiled. The only time I ever saw her do that. Most formidable woman I have ever met. She firmly believed in a solid education. Well, I was going through storage, and I found her old armor. I think she'd like you to have it. You have that same thing. You're forging your own path, not just letting life toss you this way and that. It's a family heirloom, and it's perfect it goes to you. Oh, enough of this. I don't want to make a scene. You need anything, sweetie?
That Aquila City bank robbery story on SSNN. That was you, right?
Of course it was. Oh, I was so proud. My child on the news.
I nearly dropped my drink. You were dealing with bank robbers? Constellation's mandates are broader than I thought.
As soon as I saw that story, I talked with Linda. You know Mrs. Ming across the hall, and she didn't believe me.
I swear our friends think we're making you up. I almost want you to show up in your finest Constellation outfit at poker night, just so I can show them. I was just joking. But next time, let us know you got a story coming on.
Might save your dad from having a heart attack.
Do I have news?
Oh, your father has been as anxious as a kid on Christmas.
Anyway, so you know about my card game, right? Been playing for years. Do I? Well, I was in the game of my life. Me and another lady, we went all in and then some. After I called, she had 4 of a kind, queens. But I had an honest-to-God straight flush.
Honey, he doesn't need to hear the play-by-play.
This is my moment. So finally, I won. I won big, the biggest pot of my life. I kept my poker face, even if I felt like letting my insides out. But the big kicker is, I won myself a ship, a real starship.
It's real, sweetie. We went to the docks and looked at it and everything.
Well, there's no way I'll ever fly it. So we had no idea what to do with the damn thing. And then it came to me. You. Your expression makes it totally worth it. All the paperwork's already been taken care of. Keep it, sell it, I don't care what you do with it. I just hope it makes up for all the money you keep sending home.
So how much of a thrill has it been traveling with the one and only last descendant of the great Solomon Coe? Is it everything you imagined? Ain't you ever heard of sarcasm, friend? Okay, so how's it traveling with one of the great Coes? That better? You're something else. I gotta say, it's a relief being with you. So many people hear Coe and they expect me to pull some miracle out of a hat. Time has a way of just building on itself. Solomon was a good man. Great one, even. But if he ever heard all the bullshit being talked about him these days, he'd flat out deck him. There's books about him, lots of them. All right, a couple of high notes. He was one of the first grav jump explorers, back when they had no idea of the dangers. First solo jump out of Sol System, all him. He explored all the planets in Cheyenne and settled Aquila. Plus, he formed the whole Freestar Collective with Voley. So, as you can see, the names got some serious heft. I am. And I'm not. Yeah, there was a time, well before Cora, where it really weighed on me. I felt like every little thing I did or didn't do was a reflection on our great legacy. It's enough to drive you crazy. Now I just hope I can help Cora to... I don't know. Your kind words are appreciated. For my father, Cora, and me, everything starts and ends with Solomon Coe. He looked out at the stars and he dreamed a way to get there. Imagine being the first person to jump into a new system, set foot on a new world. Well, I get it. That's powerful stuff. And now... I'm just getting sappy. You're a bad influence, you know that? I believe that might be the most honest thing you've ever said. Well, I hope the comic book they make about our adventures is better than that rag on Solomon. The stuff they publish is just downright embarrassing.
Good to see you again. Sure, if you'd like. That's not a problem. It runs in the family. My mum's a doctor too. She practiced at the clinic when she was younger, and now she works at the core in Aquila City. I want to follow her footsteps and practice at the clinic someday too, but I'm not comfortable enough with space travel yet to live on a star station full time. That's why my mum encouraged me to find a job like this. She said working as a ship's doctor would be great practice. The clinic's the most advanced medical facility in the galaxy. The doctors there pride themselves on being able to cure any disease, even ones they just discovered. They have an entire research team dedicated to the study of newly emerging xenoviruses. That's really why I want to work there someday. Helping to create botanical treatments for newly discovered diseases would be a dream come true. My papa taught me everything I know. He learned about it from my koro, and my koro learned from his mother. Plants are really important on that side of my family. Generations ago, my ancestors on Earth used medicinal plants to heal the sick. When humanity took to the stars, we brought the tradition with us. I'm the latest in a long line of Tannehills to practice botanical medicine. I agree. It's important to stay connected with the things we left behind on Earth. Our traditions are a big part of what makes us human. Go for it. Yeah, sure. I miss my parents like crazy. I wouldn't mind having a chat about them. Anything specific you wanted to know? My dad is, but my mum's from Offworld. She grew up on her parents' ship. She met my dad when she moved to Aquila to take a job at the core. Most people assume I take after my mum because we look alike, but I think I'm a lot more like my dad. He's a bit of a homebody too. My mum's the opposite. She grew up on a starship, and she always talked about how incredible it was to live in space. I'm looking forward to swapping travel stories with her next time I'm home. They were all for it. My parents know how much I want to work at the clinic, so they've always counted on me leaving home someday. I think I'm all right with that. Being away from my parents has been really hard, but in the end, I'm glad I left Aquila. I've learned so much since I took this job. It's a bit of a mixed bag. I don't mind it most days, but sometimes I still panic a little about living in such a small space. And when the ship really gets moving, I get a bit motion sick. Oh, Captain, no, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it like that. You're a wonderful pilot, really. Yeah, The day you hired me, when we left Aquila, seeing my home planet from space was breathtaking. It made me realize how small I really am. I think seeing the galaxy like this will make me a better doctor, and a better person too. All the amazing things I've seen out here are worth the discomfort. I'm glad I decided to take a chance and leave Aquila City. My dream of working at the clinic is finally starting to feel more reasonable now than it did when I left home. I'll still need to save up a lot more credits before I can afford to live there permanently, but I'm starting to get my sea legs. Oh, space legs, I guess.
New around here? Make certain that you familiarize yourself with our rules and regulations regarding the transport of Aurora. After all, you don't want to end up like Nishar, do you? Aurora is a hallucinogenic which is legally available for purchase in Neon. Certainly. And for your own good, I urge you to listen carefully. First and foremost, the interplanetary transport of Aurora is strictly forbidden. Anyone caught transporting the substance through this checkpoint will be arrested, fined, and jailed if necessary. You are free to carry and use Aurora anywhere within the city limits, yes. Good. Then you won't have any problems from me. The other regulation you should be aware of is that Aurora is only available for purchase in the Astral Lounge. Buying it from any other business or a street dealer is illegal. You will be arrested, fined, and jailed for participating in such a transaction. You can find it inside the trade tower. Take the elevators up to the terminal building and head across Bayou Plaza. You can't miss it. Perfect. All right then, that's it. If you have any additional questions, let me know. Otherwise, keep your nose clean and move along. Aurora is the #1 product produced by Xenofresh Fisheries, the company that originally founded what is now called Neon. Clinical studies sponsored by Xenofresh have proven that using Aurora has no long-term negative health effects, and so it was approved for public use. And before you ask, yes, this was also approved by the Freestar Collective, as long as Aurora stays within the city limits. Volii Alpha has a unique agreement with the Freestar Collective. We allow their ships to patrol the spaceways, and Neon Security maintains the peace within Neon itself. The only exception is the Freestar Ranger outpost located in the city, but Ranger Price fully cooperates with our department. Lousy? The hell are you talking about? Outside of work in the Astral Lounge, this is one of the most secure jobs you can get. Do you have any idea how many people get turned away from Neon Security? How about half the damn platform? No, I'm one of the lucky ones. Spend some time in Ebside and you'll see what I mean. Worst part of Neon. Basically, it's the outer perimeter of the entire platform. We're talking poverty, drug dealers, lowlives, and gangs. It's not worth a visit. If you want to enjoy your visit, stick to the safer parts of town.
Oh my goodness, another poor soul. All right, tell me what happened to you. Is it an Aurora overdose? Something else, perhaps?
Well, if it worked for you.
Unfortunately, yes. You see, the more Aurora that a user absorbs, the more resistance their body builds up to its active ingredients. That means the user needs larger and larger doses in order to feel its full effect. Eventually, the doses get so incredibly large, the user's nervous system simply can't handle the overload. That's a very wise choice. Since you're clearly a first-time visitor to Reliant Neon, I'd love to offer you a free checkup, but I'm afraid I'm dangerously low on supplies. I can assure you it isn't by choice. You see, I'm a bit at odds with the current administrator of Neon. His drug is turning the streets into a graveyard and he doesn't seem to care. We've argued about it on more than one occasion, and all he's done is try to persuade me to quit. Thinning out my supply chain is his newest tactic. There is, actually, but it requires outside assistance. At this point, I've resorted to asking anyone that has a ship registered outside of the Volii system to bring me medical supplies. I pay them for the supplies, of course, but it's the only way I can sneak them past Bayou's people at the spaceport. Now, if there's anything else I can do for you, anything at all, you just let me know. Aurora stimulates the neural circuits in the brain, specifically targeting the neurotransmitter serotonin in the prefrontal cortex. This causes significant sensory hallucinations, both auditory and visual. That's the enticement factor. As you can imagine, this state is highly addictive, and the user gets stuck in a vicious cycle. They need more Aurora to satisfy their cravings. That would be amazingly helpful. It's a relief to meet someone who gives a damn about anyone other than themselves for a change. Oh, and I'll pay you directly for the supplies, of course. It's the only way I can sneak them past Bayou's people at the spaceport. There's nothing else to be done about it. These people need my help. Anyway, I have a contact over at the clinic in the Narian system. Abby Edding? She's one of the nurses there. She'll get you started. Thank you so much for doing this. You have no idea how helpful it'll be for the poor folk that live in Ebside. Huh. Well, it's completely dependent upon how long the user's been addicted. People who have been using for, say, 2 years or less, I've been able to put through a full detoxification program successfully. But there are others who have been addicted pretty much all their adult lives, and I have yet to try and cure someone who hasn't relapsed. We both apprenticed under Mary Cartwright at the medical facility in Aquila City. Spent a heck of a lot of hours working together. Abby and I got along exceptionally well. Don't get me wrong, we're just friends, of course. She's young enough to be my daughter. I almost felt bad leaving her behind when I was hired to work for Reliant in Neon, but I knew she'd do well wherever she ended up. Reached out to her a few months ago when I ran into trouble here, and she's been helping me ever since.
Oh, jeez. I don't know if I can do this. Maybe I should just go back to my room. You might say I'm having trouble enjoying the local customs. And what's the point of coming here if I'm gonna stay cooped up in my hotel? Believe it or not, I'm actually here for my bachelor party. My fiance wants me to be more adventurous, so I thought, what better place than Neon? But I thought the adventure would just happen by default. I didn't think I'd have to manufacture it on my own. I've been asking my therapist the same question for years, but he hasn't given me an answer I like yet. Oh, it's just the offhand comment here and there, how I never take risks or don't like adventure. She hasn't said I'm boring, and I don't think I am, but looking at my past, I can't exactly prove that. This is my way of finding out. I like that it's not a crate, and I haven't felt anything crawling on me when I sleep, so I feel like they do a good job keeping it clean. True, the city is known for Aurora, so I figured I should try that. But I talked with Dr. Manning about how it works, and now I'm skeptical. No, wait, not skeptical? Terrified. Isn't the poison in the dose? I'm thinking maybe I can get away with a sniff or a bite. I actually don't know how you take it. No, this is exactly what my fiance was talking about. I hesitate too much. But I also don't want to dive right in. I think I want to start with something less damaging to my central nervous system. Supposedly, Madame Sauvage sells a drink called Velocity that's almost like a drug. There's also some local swill people swear by called Blend over at Legrand's Liquors. What do you think? Okay, then we'll go with Blend. I'm a bit worried what's in the mix. But that's exactly the kind of cowardice I'm trying to get over. I'll try that first. But not right away. I need to prepare myself for the ritual. But hey, next time you come back to Neon, do me a favor and check in on me. Make sure I'm not dead.
Welcome to the Hotel Volai. Are you here to rent a room?
I think you'll be pleasantly surprised that our luxury accommodations are more than reasonably priced. We have finally appointed spacious suites, all featuring fantastic amenities. Best of all, each room is security protected with an encrypted password-locked door. So, you can rest easy at night. Nope, no catch. My hotel is completely free from administrative influence, so you can rest assured that you'll be actually getting the best value for your credits. No miracle, just some good old-fashioned ingenuity. But that's a story for another time. So, can I book you a room for the night? Maybe after you've rented a room for a few nights, I might let you in on my secret. For now, it'll just have to remain a mystery. Sorry. I just need some time to see if I can trust you. I'm sure you understand. Oh, how nice! His daughter must be feeling very generous to be sending him something like that. Mr. Ovadia is in his room on the 3rd floor. I'll buzz him and let him know you're on your way.
Red Harvest Reserve, huh? I assume this is from my daughter. Well, she knows how to get my attention. So what then? You're working with her? She thinks this will be enough to smooth things over between us? Of course it was. I should have not been so blind. You have no idea what you're doing. You need to tell me where she is this instant. My own daughter assaults me in my own home, steals my personal spacecraft, then runs off to who knows where. Now you think a friendly little chat is going to smooth it all over and make things better? How foolish do you think I am? If I'm being honest with myself, no. I suppose we could at least talk. I don't disagree with you. Belinda. Oh, I miss her. No. You're right. She would be disgusted with who I've become. I've been dishonoring her memory with my actions. I suppose I've overreacted. She was young, and while foolish, she is still my daughter. And Rivka is all I have left of my wife. I would do her a disservice to incriminate her daughter like that. She told you about that. I'm not proud of it. I've wrestled with it ever since my wife died. I have been a terrible father. It will be up to Rivka how she wants me to make amends, and I will do whatever it takes. If she wants money, she'll get it. If she wants me to go to therapy, I will. Whatever it takes. I promise. Yes. Tell her I will drop the charges immediately and call off the bounty hunters. And I suppose I will seek her out to talk. I may just need a little time to figure out how to say what I need to say. Thank you.
You know, you have a real career waiting in family counseling. You can make a fortune untangling us co's, for example.
Sleep crates for rent. It's tight, but it's home. If you're struggling, sleep crates are the budget accommodation choice of Neon. It's tight, it's got a smell that's an acquired taste. If you're in the market for a sleep crate, they sadly sell themselves because they're very, very cheap. That they do. It's the families that really get me. And when those families can no longer even afford a sleep crate, well, that's just my favorite part of the job. Good for you. You can at least get some privacy that way. No weird stains, save the ones you spill. And it just so happens we have a deluxe shipping crate that recently came on the market. Built for cargo, redesigned for people. Just the thing for a minimalist like yourself. It's an artist's way of saying less is more. Minimalism is about shedding life's excesses. One night in a sleep crate and your desires, comfort, and hygiene will molt away. All right, here's your key. Your sleep crate is Unit A-003. Enjoy your new, home.
Velocity's such a grab rush.
What?
I'm a free spirit, yo. A wanderer. I go wherever the wave takes me. But if there's two places I vibe with most, it's the bars and the market. Aurora's my mistress, but fashion's my heart, so I'm always checking in on the latest trends.
Fine.
Think so? I know people say the trends here are manufactured. Just more megacorp, technorati bullshit putting commercials in the sky. But the corps can put up 1,000 billboards, and they still won't define what lights up the street. We do. When I was a kid, my parents used to dress me in these old man sweatsuits because it was all we could afford. But even then, my sense of style was always there, deep in the marrow, you know? It got so bad I started cutting up my clothes to make my own. When I finally could afford some new threads, it was like meeting my soulmate in person after a decade of loving her from afar. Diosdado's my dad's name. His dad before him. I used to go by Trey, but when the old man passed, I decided to do him a solid and wear the name without the Nick. Even back on Sol, my ancestors were island people. And Volii Alpha being an ocean world, I feel their spirits with me.
What are you looking at? This? This is Ebside Striker's turf.
Only the upstairs. Don't bother my customers.
Fine, upstairs. That's gang territory, got it? This is such bullshit. Yeah, you used to be people were afraid of the Strikers. We had a name, got it? Now the disciples got us penned up in this lousy bar.
Andrea!
Fine. This beautiful establishment. Do you have anything else, or are we done with this? Whatever this is. We were one of the big dogs. We could take what we wanted and no one gave us shit. And Briggs? Total class act. Not a psycho like the disciples. Now look at us. I mean, the Strikers will rob you blind, and if you back us in a corner, you're gonna bleed. But the disciples? Pfft, total nutjob animals. They torture people for kicks. And the only people that kept them from getting out of control? Us. And now we're all but ruined. So you stroll in here and want to meet with Briggs? The nerve. Maybe you should meet with the business end of my shiv, huh, tourist?
No blood in my shop, Andrea. I'm this close to tossing the lot of you out on the street.
Fine already. You're lucky. Only way you see Briggs is if you, want to join the Ebside Strikers. Oh, nothing. Joining us now is great. People are banging down our door to go down with this ship. You know, I'll just do that. Right now. This ought to be good. Sure, let's go meet the boss.
You want to join us? We're a gang. You understand that, right? Not some daring adventure bullshit you can brag to your friends about. We steal, we mug, we kill, if we have to. People that come to us have usually run out of options. So are you really interested? There was a time when we were the only ones that kept those psychos in line, but I'll get to that. Let me tell you about us. What makes the Strikers different is we're family. It's us against every goddamn thing the world can throw at us. If you're in, we'll go through hell and back for you.
It's been a little too much of that hell going round.
Vogel, not the time. We do everything we can to make sure everyone's got a roof overhead and fish in their belly. I prefer we fleece the marks, not kill them. Better for everyone in the long run. But you do what you gotta do. Ebside is where all the loser and sad stories end up, once Neon and Administrator Bayou has used them up. Surviving here ain't easy. Sometimes blood's got to flow just to get food based on your plate. But we only take what we have to. Not so fast. I gotta get to know you first. What would you bring to the Strikers? Very useful. I like it. Done anything special? Something that might impress us? Right. So you're one of those stargazers. Sure, they visit here all the time. I'm not sure what your game is, but if you really want to join, there's a test. You're going up against the Disciples. Everyone in Ebside's been chewed up and ground up by Neon. Some people snap, and snap hard. The Disciples are maniacs, pure and simple. The test is to find out who has been arming those nutjobs with military-grade hardware. We're fully in alignment there.
The Disciples have been and are a real problem. The Strikers may be the only option to deal with them.
There's a warehouse they use. One of our friends said there's a slate there that has the info we need.
Oh, that's my job. I was going to go in and make them pay.
You want it? Too bad, Vogel. You go in there, and it's a bloodbath. I want someone that can snatch it from them. Ideally with them never even knowing it happened. Consider this your audition. Try not to get killed, new fish.
Got a second to chat? I'm in the market for a job that'll get me out of Neon. If you need some muscle on your crew, I might be your girl. Man, am I glad to hear that. Thank you so much. So, before we finalize anything, I should probably tell you that I'm a member of the Disciples. If that changes your mind, I get it. Not everybody likes associating with gangs. No, of course not. I wouldn't involve you in any kind of trouble. The gang's leaders know I'm planning to take a contract job off-world. One of Neon's biggest gangs. We mostly operate in Ebside, like the Strikers. Thanks. That's a big relief. You wouldn't be the first person to turn me down when they found out. I'm glad I got that off my chest. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to discuss my salary. Loyal service doesn't come free. Not when I have debts to pay off. I'll accept your standard going rate, not a credit less. Works for me. I'm ready to start whenever.
New customer. Bienvenue. Before you order, I have 2 simple rules you need to know. Oh, this is my place. That means everyone in here is under my protection. You don't mess with them, they don't mess with you. 2. If you're buying drinks, you better have cash. Madame Sauvage does not offer credit. Good? Ça c'est bon? Oh, well, thank you very much for the compliment. I'm told my family tree traces itself back to Europe, on Earth. Specifically the region known as France. A long and proud history, no? Finally, someone who listens and does what they're told. A rare commodity in Epside. I like you already.
Thank you kindly, Madame Sauvage. You won't get any trouble from us.
So, what can Madame Sauvage get you? Have you come to try velocity, perhaps? Or do you prefer something with a little less kick? It's nothing less than heaven in a glass. As though the universe itself was resting her lips on yours. My own personal creation. You want information? Go read a book. You want a drink? Talk to Madame Sauvage. That's how things work in my place. Unfortunately, that will have to remain my secret for now. It's safe if the identities of the involved parties remain anonymous. Let's just say I was owed a substantial debt, and the bar was how I got paid, and leave it at that. On my home planet, we have beautiful beaches. And during certain times of the year, the ocean lights up in beautiful spectrums of color. Now, science will tell you that this is from tiny microscopic organisms that are emitting bioluminescent light. But I believe it's so much more. I think it's a dance, a celebration. It's nature's way of giving thanks to the sun for nourishment. It's breathtaking. That is the essence of velocity. It's a toast to nature and all its splendid wonders. A sudden merger of humankind to the cosmos. Administrator Bayou has forbidden any place other than the Astral Lounge from selling Aurora. Now, if Euphorica wants to sell it in their members' lounge, or Legrand wants to mix it into blend, that's their choice. Moi? I prefer to stay off of Bayou's radar and keep Neon security off my back. Made a fresh mix of velocity just for you.
Welcome. Please, make yourself comfortable. I can offer you a drink, or perhaps you're here seeking access to our members' lounge, where you can enjoy your Aurora experience in peace.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Customers choose our lounge because they desire a more relaxed and sedate journey as they experience the joy of Aurora. We have no blaring music, no crowds, no chaos. The mood here is specifically crafted to allow a full range of mindful self-exploration. Sorry, no. Aurora sales are only permitted through the Astral Lounge. We simply provide a safe haven for you to enjoy it in peace. If you desire access to the lounge, you can purchase admittance for a completely reasonable fee. Otherwise, you're welcome to relax, listen to our music, and perhaps enjoy a chimera. It's a specialty alcoholic beverage only served here at Euphorica. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Not only will you be able to experience one of the most exclusive Aurora lounges in Neon, you also have access to our private bar. The bartender down there is a personal friend of mine, and he sells some rather unique items. A wise choice. Here's your access key. Please let us know if anything in the lounge interferes with your comfort. If you need anything else, please, don't hesitate to ask. Of course, I recommend our house specialty, the Chimera. It's a unique triple-layer drink that I believe you'll find quite delightful. It consists of mild cold soju on the top, a thin layer of fruit liqueur in the middle, and a strong dark soju at the bottom. The initial mildness of Chimera slowly warms the senses, which rapidly transitions into a sudden burst of sweetness from the fruit liqueur. This sweetness braces the palate for the impact of the much stronger, robust finish. It's a drink of my own design.
You're bothering me.
Perhaps I could interest you in a visit to the members' lounge?
Then leave.
Wish I could, but I can't swing this.
It's one of my rules, and it served me well. Besides,
In the meantime,
you don't want to talk to
please let
me.
me know if there's
Fact
anything
is, I'm not a good man. Best keep your distance. No, I'm not. Not particularly. Yeah, I bet you do. I work the warehouses. Clock in, clock out, mind my business. Gangs leave me alone. You should too. Yeah, keep things short. Don't drink on the job, drink every minute after. Never play cards with a street rat. Don't love what you can't respect. That's all I got. Anything more would break the first rule.
Hello there. On behalf of Euphorica, I welcome you to our members' lounge. I'll be happy to provide whatever you need from our private bar to enhance your experience. Can I get you anything? Some Aurora, perhaps? Yes. Well, due to the extreme exclusivity of the members' lounge, we like to keep the fact that we offer Aurora confidential. You can rest assured that purchasing Aurora from this establishment is not only safe, it's completely legal. Of course, no purchases are required. You're more than welcome to simply relax, absorb the energy, and center yourself. We also offer an assortment of beverages, so feel free to browse our selection anytime. Begging your pardon, I find that fraternizing with the customers can lead to problems. I prefer my private life remain my own. No offense intended. Ah, an interesting perspective. I hadn't thought of it that way. If you're wondering why I'm here, it's actually thanks to Micah. When you're born in Neon, you're either destined for the top or the bottom of the food chain. There's no middle. My family started out barely making ends meet. After my parents lost their lives, I ended up as a street rat. That's when the gangs preyed on me. I fell in with the disciples, and they helped me keep one foot out of the grave. Barely. My mother was killed in an accident at the Xenofresh plant. Some type of malfunction with the machinery caused her death. Her absence sent my father into a deep depression. He became despondent and listless. We barely spoke for over a year. Every night, I'd find him sitting on the edge of the upper platform, staring out into Volai's ocean. I'd bring him food and leave it beside him. One morning, I returned to his usual spot and he was gone. His food was still there. And at that moment, I somehow knew I'd never see him again. That's why I eventually turned to the gangs. I had no one, no sense of belonging. I hope you understand. I actually was having the time of my life, if you can believe that. Almost too much fun. You see, all that violence, all the drugs and death, it takes its toll. I don't mean physically, I mean mentally. I was in a bad place. I don't know what Micah saw in me, but she pulled me out of the gang. She actually paid them cash to buy me out, if you can believe that. After she helped me sober up, I asked her why she bothered. She told me I reminded her of someone she lost. She never explained it beyond that. I've been here ever since. It's what the people of Neon have labeled the most destitute of our citizens. It's a miserable life filled with loneliness and desperation, spending each waking moment fighting to survive an unforgiving city. To be a street rat is a curse I wouldn't wish upon even my worst enemy. It's quite simply a complete and utter absence of humanity. I apologize if I've dampened your mood. You must understand that speaking about these things brings back painful memories.
Yeah? You're buying, selling, or moving. Alright, smartass, let's cut the bullshit.
You either walked into the TA to buy some goods, sell some goods, or have some liberated goods taken off your hands for a reasonable price. So, instead of wasting my time making me explain how the business world works, let's get a move on. Getting caught? By who? Neon Security doesn't give a crap, and the Freestar Rangers here are a joke. Look, let's stop playing games. We both know what I'm talking about. Now, what'll it be? Well, first of all, the outpost in Neon is hardly anything to be worried about. They have what, like 4 men covering the entire city? Come on! And even if one of them got, I don't know, suddenly ambitious and put the heat on us, well, there are 2 ways to solve that problem. One way is to leave an unattended cred stick on the counter. The other is to give Sayoka a call. Either way, it's business for us as usual.
Welcome, welcome, my friend. It's been a long time since I've seen a new face. I'm afraid it is. You see, when I opened this shop, I had grand ambitions of creating a mining supply empire on Volai. Yet here I am, only a few years later, pockets empty, and my business on the verge of closure. It is a sad day. That would be a blessing, my friend, but I wouldn't want to impose. Listen to me, my friend. I hear what the people say on the street. They call me crazy for opening a mining business on an ocean world. I was aiming so much higher, hoping to attract these space travelers, passing through the Volai system on their prospecting journeys. It was stupid to assume I could corner the market on mining supplies and raw materials without a solid foundation. And by God, I've paid the price. You would do that for a total stranger? Bless you, my friend. Bless you. I've come up with an idea that I'm hoping will generate a lot of interest in my business, and you were the final element that was missing. If you could bring these flyers to some of the other vendors in Neon, it would explain how we can improve our businesses as a group. Many in Neon keep to their own, and I believe this is why we fail. James Newell and his Merchant Alliance friends are on the right track, but all they do is spend their time complaining, never solving. We must unify, band together, and help each other out. Then, when one of us falls, the others can reach down and help him rise from the dust. In the meantime, we will refer people to each other's shops, perhaps even promote sales together. It would benefit us all. Wonderful, simply wonderful. You have no idea the weight you have lifted from my shoulders. I appreciate your help. If there's anything I can do, anything at all, please let me know.